Okay, so we are recording now with your consent. Thank you for that. And yeah, so let's start the interview with a question everybody asks. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am currently in a PsyD program, which attracted me to even apply to this rotation. So with student psychology and also having a military background, I believe that I would be a good fit for your company.
Excellent. Thank you.
Ms. Hawkins, could you tell us what you know about the position that you're applying for?
As from what I understand, it's more of a mentoring, assisting vets as well. Pretty much along the same process I've been through. It seems as though more of mentoring, counseling, and assisting them through whatever they're trying to pursue, schooling, job, whatever their path is.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hawkins, I'm not sure if Mr. Salazar mentioned this previously. So I believe you did apply for the business services representative position, correct? That was your original application?
It was for several different ones, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, so we just wanted to make sure that we are also looking for a career coach to fill our career coach position with our team, with our veterans team. So I just wanted to make sure that you're all aware that we'll also, if it's okay with you, just be asking some questions related to that position as well.
Okay, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So Ms. Hawkins, you've had a lot of different experiences in your career.
Yeah.
So tell me about, did you ever have to make phone calls to clients and talk to them about their current treatment or anything like that?
Yes, I have actually. With Cooper Surgical, I've had to do that, yes.
Okay. Was there any cold calling involved?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ms. Hawkins, so seeing as how you're a veteran yourself, and you know you've been on kind of on the end of receiving services and resources, how would you outreach to veterans during this time, during this pandemic? What would you do differently to reach those veterans that were not maybe possibly getting the resources that they need?
That is a good question. Social media, utilizing all platforms, word of mouth, and then going to the veteran hospitals as well, or clinics as well, just getting the words out, since vets go there daily. It's a good way to kind of, if we're able to partner up with those other veteran sources, then we'd be able to get the word out that way, especially during this time.
Thank you.
So Ms. Hawkins, when you were transitioning out of the military, you know, you received your TAPS class, your transitional assistance program. What do you think they could have done better to make your transition better into the civilian world?
Maybe, I don't know for you, for some it's a 2-week process, for others it's a month process, which seems to be the out processing process is just already cumbersome as it is. And so maybe having classes ahead of time. I know it's like, when you say ahead of time, it's like, wow, a month should be enough or sufficient, or 2 weeks should be sufficient for that. But Sometimes some veterans don't know exactly what is they're wanting to do. They've been in such a cycle for so long. Maybe at the 6th month when they know they're coming up on their TDY or whatever whatever leave they're taking. Hey, let's start maybe something for the veterans to or service members that are transitioning to be able to go to different classes and have different opportunities to even have, there's different services that you don't know about until you get out, or until it's like your months, years, maybe down the line, that if you would have heard while you were active duty, you could benefit from having the foresight.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Hawkins, I have a question as it relates to your data collection, data analysis, data entry. What is your experience level with that?
Can I ask you a question? Experience level in regards to what exactly?
Just in general, collecting data, entering data, the different types of software that you may have used, platforms, anything, okay. Microsoft, Excel, things like that.
Okay. As far as data collection, I have been doing analytics with SBC, Riverside, and that's just for psychology data. We've actually just started a new research project with schizophrenia. So just collecting data from the students online, putting it into Datacolics. We use Datacolics, a bunch of other Microsoft Excel, and different other cybernetics, and I think CC plus EVIX, I think it's called. So we use those, and we just input the data, and then it pretty much does whatever it does to the algorithm. And so, but we do set the parameters as well for those. We've done that. So,
thank you.
So tell me, Ms. Hawkins, JVS is very teamwork founded. What trait do you think you bring to the table that makes you a better part of a team? What trait do you have that makes you a better part of the team?
The ability to listen, the ability to really just collect what everyone, the collective has to say, and then kind of go from there. I would say patience, and just finding a direct route, just being very direct.
Excellent, thank you.
So, Ms. Hawkins, in your research, what is your experience in working with grants and ensuring grant compliance?
So with grants, I've only done a few grant writings with SBC as well. And those have been, I didn't oversee them. I was just the underseer and just basically look through for error. And that's about it. To be honest, I've only worked on, I would say 7 or 8 different ones with SBC. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so you have good experience in grant writing, and that's excellent. But what kind of leadership do you like to work under, and what kind of leadership do you just cannot function with?
I would say to allow this is what needs to be done, and then for me to just assume the mission. Just as long as I have the directive and what needs to get done, then I can go about it how it needs to get done, if that makes sense. I guess what my dislikes would be a hover.
So what's your favorite kind of leadership? For me to take action. Yeah. I don't, what is the word for that? I can't think right now, but. Okay. Thank you.
So, speaking of leadership, let's transition over to a time that you had an issue with a supervisor, a time that you disagreed with a supervisor, and how did you handle the situation?
If ever I had an issue with a supervisor, I would speak about it. Find a time. Ask, hey, do you have a minute? Ask for a minute, offline, and then speak with them in regards to whatever the issue may be, and then work it out from there.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What about a disagreement with a coworker? How do you deal with coworkers?
The same.
Okay.
Same.
All right. Thank you.
I apologize for my ins and outs. I have allergies this morning, so I keep trying to sneak away from the camera. Yes, so we touched base on the type of leadership that you work well with, the type of leadership you don't work so well with. Also, you gave us an example of the type of, an example of when you disagreed with a supervisor and a coworker. How do you define setting boundaries at work with clients?
I think when you go into when you're going into an agreement, there's always clear boundaries that are made, and just to ensure that those boundaries are met, just having the client understand those boundaries, if those boundaries need to be stated. So.
Okay.
Ms. Hawkins, you made it to E6 in the Army. What rank is that?
Staff sergeant.
Staff sergeant. So staff sergeant that's pretty high, right?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Why did you leave the Army?
Medical reasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Thank you.
Yeah.
So as a staff sergeant, I imagine you held, that means you held numerous leadership positions leading up to staff sergeant. Mm-hmm. You had to do presentations, maybe mentor some incoming soldiers. How do you feel about, or I guess rather, what is your confidence level in facilitating meetings and presentations in front of large groups of people?
I'm pretty confident.
Excellent. So if you were to tell me one of your weaknesses, like something that you wish you could fix, what would it be?
Mm, taking my time.
Excellent. Thank you.
That's a good question.
All right, Ms. Hawkins, I have a few skill sets I want to run by you. And I would like for you to rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 3. 1 being stellar, amazing, 2 being average, and 3 needs improvement.
Okay,
So let me know when you're ready.
ready.
All right, so let's see, oral communication. Oral communication. I apologize. Just if you could give me 1 second.
Yes.
The teleworking thing is taking the tax out of everybody, huh?
Yes.
So you applied for BSR, but we're actually interested in as you as a career coach as well, because your skill set is it's actually quite impressive. So hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll be pushing you forward for both, and then both managers will give you an interview, and you'll be chosen for one or the other. If that's all right with you. Okay.
Okay.
And I think we got Miss Ruby back.
Thank you so much for that. Yes, so Ms. Hawkins, again, we're going to go over the skill sets. I just would like for you to rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 3. 1 is stellar, 2 average, and 3 needs improvement. All right,
Okay.
so the first skill set that we have is oral communication,
1,
written communication,
1,
attention to detail,
1,
administrative skills,
2,
management skills,
1,
rapport building,
1,
dependability,
1,
professionalism,
1,
managing boundaries,
1,
and work ethic.
1.
So you rated yourself a 2 under administrative skills. Why is that?
Because I believe everything's always new, so things are always changing. So I can always meet improvement there because I'm always going to be learning something new.
Okay, great, thank you.
So, Ms. Hawkins, what's more important, completing a task on time with a few errors or completing a task a little later with no errors?
A little later with no errors. And speaking about it ahead of time, letting someone know you're going to be late, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Let's see. So Ms. Hawkins, I believe those are all the questions that I have. Mr. Salazar, do you have any other questions?
I just have one more, Mrs. Rodriguez. Ms. Hawkins, you know that right now, because of the pandemic and the atmosphere that we're currently living in, we are actually normally based out of Bob Hope Patriotic Hall, but because of that, we have a few other locations. So you might be asked to travel to different locations. What's your transportation? How is your transportation right now, and how do you feel about traveling to different locations?
That's good.
Or teleworking?
Yeah, that's great. That's good.
And of course, do you have any questions for us?
Yes. What would you say was the challenge that the last person failed, or what do you see as the challenge in these positions.
So, Miss Ruby, I'll start with it, and by all means, you can jump in. So, the last person that unfortunately did not do well was because time management is our biggest enemy. We have a lot of stuff that we have to take care of, tasks and some administrative duties that we have to take care of when it comes to coaching individuals or making them job ready. That time management seems to always be the enemy. Ms. Ruby?
No, absolutely, Mr. Salazar, I agree. It's time management, learning to prioritize. Once you get into the swing of things, you understand the processes and what we do. It's just managing your own time wisely so you can prioritize what needs to get done first. Obviously, we work with grants. We have grant compliance requirements that we have to abide by. So meeting those goals, hitting your goals, and making sure that you try not to let other things drop, because you are constantly dealing with with different things, but they all have to do with career coaching with your position. But there are a lot of I guess factors or other things that go hand in hand with the coaching.
And to add a little bit on the other position, the BSR position or business service representative position, it's about creating new relationships with individuals, cold calling individuals, making sure that you stay abreast of their situation and you know what's going on to better serve them. So both positions have a lot of time management areas that need to be filled. Mm-hmm. Other than that, anything else?
What would you say with how things are right now? How often is the traveling?
So if you get selected and you become part of our team, while you're in training, you'll be probably showing up to an office every day. The traveling for you will not be sporadic, so it will be like at the same office most days, no issues, probably Montebello office. And then after you're done with your training, you will have a few days of teleworking and a few days of going to offices. So the locations that we have, they're static locations, but they're different. Like, for instance, myself, I go to Montebello and I go to El Monte. And Miss Ruby goes to Culver City and another location, right, Miss Ruby?
El Monte.
El Monte. Mm-hmm. But hopefully when everything calms down, we'll be all stationed in Bob Hope Patriotic Hall again, and everything will be taken from there. But even then, the position does have a little bit of traveling involved, but you get reimbursed and you get everything given back to you. So.
Okay.
Anything else, Miss?
No, that was all.
Thank you so much. This was a wonderful interview. You have a wonderful day. Miss Ruby, anything?
That's it. Thank you, Ms. Hawkins. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Likewise. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.